5 trips to Rwanda. When was your first one?
2008.
2008. And your last one?
August.
August. And tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's interesting. For those of us that have been there, first of all, I just want to thank the congregation for the prayer and financial support. Every single year, it seems like we have what we need to the penny. So I just want to thank everyone. Rwanda has gone through tremendous changes. In 1994 with the genocide, obviously it was very bad off, but even since 2008, there's been such tremendous change in the vitality, the commerce, the attitude, the mood of the people. The health has just dramatically changed in the small village that we serve in.
Now, what are the effects of the genocide? Are there still effects ongoing, or has the country just moved on from it? And how would you move on from it?
I think it would be very hard to move on from it. Certainly, the government has mandated that we're to be Rwandans. We're not Hutus or Tutsis anymore. You can see it in the population. You see a void of men between, I guess now it'd be like 25 and 45.
Yeah.
It's a female-dominated society. Frankly, I think that's a good thing in any society. I'm OBGYN, what can I say?
Yeah.
But I just do. I think the education, empowering women in that country is accelerating the growth and their ability to rise up from the genocide that they had to suffer through.
Now, as a medical doctor, what are you doing on these trips? 5 trips. What kind of work are you doing there? We heard last week that Tom went with muscle and built 101 benches. Did you deliver 101 babies, or what?
You know, it's one of my great disappointments. I've always wanted to deliver babies over there. I guess the closest I ever got to it was
let me interrupt you here and let you know this is being live streamed.
Oh,
okay.
There's nothing horrible about childbirth, is there? Initially what we did is 2008 we really descended on a community clinic, and I say that very candidly. We really didn't understand how you are to do mission work. We thought, oh, we're just going to go and do a lot of good things, and we did a lot of good things, and I think we've evolved. Great book, When Helping Hurts, really is really something that we've tried to become more and more like. We want to go in, we want to work alongside. We don't want to be doing jobs that they can do for themselves. And at the same time, over that period of time, our roles have changed. We've learned a lot from the Rwandans, and this year was the first year that we actually spent half the time teaching, and only 2 out of, normally we'll do 4 days of clinic time and see hundreds of patients. We decided that the community we're working in is doing so much better that we wanted to start having a different impact, more of a ripple effect of education. So we actually had 2 days of nurse education of the African New Life nurses as well as community nurses. And we also gave lectures to women's groups. My daughter actually gave talks on social work and post-traumatic stress disorder and grief management. I'm very proud of her for that. Then once we got through the educational part, we actually had a dinner where Nigel Azer was kind enough to sponsor a dinner, and we got to know 20 physicians in Kigali. So we're trying to build on those relationships, and maybe we'll do Skypes. We'll consult with one another about medical issues. But on the horizon, African New Life has their new polyclinic that's going to be built, be completed pretty soon. You might have seen one of the slides that showed very early construction. And during once that clinic is up, they're going to need to be partnering with non-believing community as well. And we're trying to develop a relationship with them and certainly share the gospel and bring them to faith.
Now, how big was the team that you brought this year?
It was the smallest group. We had 12, but it was jam-packed with physicians this time. Normally we have maybe a group of 20, and we have about half lay people, non-medical people, I should say. And this time we had pediatrics, orthopedics, internal medicine, OBGYN, social work. So it was really a very harmonious group. we just had a lot of good time while we're working together.
Now, how does this ministry, obviously it's doing tremendous good there, how does it intersect with the churches there? Emmanuel has a long-standing relationship with African New Life. How does this play into that?
Well, I think for me, and I think for anyone that serves in mission, particularly if they have a heart for the Lord, I think mission is not just about service. It's about going and serving and using whatever talent you have to bring people to faith. And the worst thing for me would be to go to a place where I share my faith and there's no aftercare. And African New Life really is just tremendous in that we're working alongside the church. And we know that they'll get we introduce them to the local pastor and they're encouraged to go to church, and there's, aftercare.
Excellent. You mentioned that book, When Helping Hurts. I've read that book. And
it's a great book.
Yeah, and I would encourage you to read, if you haven't read When Helping Hurts and you're interested in short-term missions or in giving or using your Christianity to help the world and advance the gospel, I'd really encourage you to read that book. We sell it in the bookstore. It's called When Helping Hurts. I don't remember the author's name, though.
That's a shame. I don't either.
Okay. Yeah. What was any particular highlights from this trip?
Well, I think truly the highlight in every situation is the smiles. We have these perceptions before we go about things that we're going to accomplish, but it's always, there's what I call the Kodak Moment, where God gives us this special moment where you just really connect with people, and usually it's in the chair next to your table, and it's hard to go into specifics, but I think the joy of seeing people that have so much less than we have is what, just energizes me to keep going back. I mean, it's not the reason why I do it. It's certainly the love that Christ has for me I'm trying to share with people that have less. But it does fuel you when you actually see people and speak one word in their native language, and they just light up, and they just are so joyful. And we could do with a lot more joy in our culture. Now
I remember praying, it was not even 6 months ago here, for people as a congregation. You may remember it. We had Peter up here, and we talked about the need for different kind of doctors, especially pediatricians. I remember praying exactly for that. So it seems like that was an answered prayer.
Well, we've had Bridget Allard now along with us for 3 tours, and
tours.
She's so humble and modest. She does wonderful work. And she really has a heart for that particular village and Rwandan people.
So how can we pray for that ministry now? We'll do that tonight in a few minutes. How can we pray for it now?
Well, I think we had a recap meeting, and I think really the prayer is what is it that you would God have us do in terms of future? Because we feel like the community we're working in is now self-sustaining, and the way that we're going to administer our talents, our time, our treasure is going to be different. It's going to be smaller groups that are going into the new clinic and serving side by side with Rwandan surgeons maybe, and just trying to give and take and share in that environment. It's going to be sending over some other social workers perhaps, and I foresee that we're going to be actually teaching the seminarians, because they're going to be the therapists for Rwanda. So I think we should be praying for what it is that God would have us do next year and the years to come.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Anything else you want to add?
No, I just truly appreciate this church and the support we get for our mission work. Thank you so much.